Hey, you know what? I think the Chicago Bears just really quietly revealed their 2025 draft plan. And I'm thinking more and more that GM Ryan Poles, he's just going to stay relatively pat this year at the trade deadline. We don't have a ton of cap space left. That's about 6 million. And I'd really like to see that saved for like an emergency injury as the season progresses, right? And if you want to look at the concrete evidence, the best indication of 2025, the draft plan that's in store, it's where the scouting department is traveling to. What games are being visited? They aren't just going everywhere. And every single indication is that the concentration of this next draft class, it's going to be in the trenches. And I'm going to kind of go to this player tracker here on Twitter. Always going to call it Twitter. Calling it X is dumb in my book. So the player I'd like to profile, it's a guy that'd be available around like pick 18 is about where Bears are projected to pick, and he's a nice one. I'm talking about Cameron Williams, offensive tackle from Texas. And this guy's just an absolutely enormous tackle. He can help protect the Bears' new franchise quarterback, Caleb Williams. You guys know who he is, right? And I'm going to get to him in a little more detail, but I also want to go to a guy named Tyler Booker. And a little bit on Tyler Booker. He's an offensive guard from Alabama, big need for Chicago. And he's got really good hand usage and he plays at a really heavy weight, which can be good and bad, right? But it's not hard to be amazed by his raw strength. He has lower half flexibility that's rare for a big man, just elite athleticism, and he's listed at 352. So that just makes him a nice fit as far as an NFL weight and body. More on him, but let's just get a broader view of what's up. So we're looking at the Bears having a heavy presence at both the Texas versus Georgia game and Alabama versus Tennessee. This is notable. It's showing targeted players in the upcoming draft. It reinforces team needs as well. And you're looking at polls having 3 picks in the first 2 rounds. That means 3 blue chip players can potentially join us at Hallis Hall. And that's really fantastic. And I think we absolutely should use the picks. It's so much better for the cap. It's just plain smart. And the picks we have in our coffers right now for review, they're as follows. We've got our own first round pick, their own second round pick, and then we've got the Carolina Panthers second round pick. Absolutely final piece of the DJ Moore trade from 2023. Man, that trade just keeps giving. And by the looks of the Panthers situation, it's going to be one of the best picks in the second round, and I can't wait. So once again, our second favorite NFL team is going to be who? It's going to be whoever plays the Panthers in every single given week. So then the Bears own their own third round pick, their own fifth, and now we get to the Pittsburgh Steelers pick. That's either going to be a 6th rounder or a 4th round selection if Justin Fields plays 51% of the team snaps. Before Russell Wilson got put in, and he really balled out last night against the Jets. But before Russell Wilson got put in, Justin Fields was about 11 quarters from bringing that dream of a 4th round pick for him to fruition. The season's young still. We could have an injury. The Steelers could tank. Justin Fields could end up fulfilling those other 3 games to get 51% of the snaps. But right now, we're just going to project it as a 6. And then we have a 7th round pick from the Cleveland Browns, and that was part of the Chris Williams trade. So if you kind of look at this is with dealing away a 4th rounder to Buffalo to get Austin Booker in the last draft. Plus, we used a couple 6th rounders that we had in deals for Darrell Taylor and Chris Williams, getting that 7th rounder back for the from. So as far as draft picks, we are in an incredible spot. And if anything, on top of that, I think we're going to likely see a defensive depth signing and not a blockbuster move at the trade deadline, especially at defensive end. I know. There's a ton of rumors flying on guys like Max Crosby. I'm kind of refusing to cover that because there's absolutely no way that the Chicago Bears are going to invest that money at that position while ponying up for Montez Sweat as well. It's absolutely not going to happen. That's way too much money invested at defensive end. And the rotational way that we piece this together, absolutely going great from DeMarcus to Booker to Daryl Taylor. What a bargain for that 6th-round pick. So, and then another issue. We can scream at the top of our lungs, sign a top center, or we need a marquee guard, right? But here's the thing, deals for top offensive linemen, they're rarely done at the trade deadline. And the offensive line, it's different than bringing a defensive player, bringing a pass rusher, bringing in one of those guys. The offensive line, it requires a long acclimation period. They got to learn the scheme. It's got to work together as a unit. I just don't see it happening, a high profile signing. So on top of that, the cavalry is coming. Bates is going to be back. Larry Borum is just about to be available as well. He is a really good depth piece. Plus, we've got rookie Kiran Amagaje. He's absolutely ready to go. So the line is gelling here. It's actually quite deep now. And once Pryor came in for Davis, different line, different results. One thing I'm not trying to say, though, this line is far from a finished product. I'd love to see Tevin Jenkins signed if it's team friendly over the deadline. We're coming up on this Washington game. I just talked through that last week. Go check it out. But besides that, let's look at what we have. Braxton Jones, really nice pull in the 5th round. It's a beautiful pick, but he's not quite clicking into that upper tier level that we really need as a team to be elite. I mean, look at what the Lions are doing with their superior line. We got to get there, and we got to get there quick. And we should do it through the draft. We also need a better center, right guard play as well. Use this draft capital on the offensive line. And I particularly want to go back. I really like this Alabama offensive guard, Tyler Booker. The thing is, on top of his physical strength, he's just a smart player. He's great at protecting the pass. He's great at recognizing and neutralizing stunts and pressures. Just ideal for protecting our franchise quarterback who is just ascending week after week. Argument against Tevin Jenkins. He's missed 19 games in 3 years. Not great. But man, he's playing really well. He's on the field so far this year. He plays through injuries. Is he worth $20 million a year? That's the top guard price, though. I say this once again, keep him if you'll play ball for lower. Otherwise, absolutely stacked draft for the offensive line. You got Nate Davis. No, thank you. He's going to be gone at $9.5 million as a cap savings after the year coming into next year with only a $2 million cap hit for a prorated signing bonus. And guaranteed money is already in his pocket. Nothing we can do about that at the end of the season. Keep him now in case for injury. There's no reason to just cut him loose for nothing. We might need him before the year is done, even if he's not playing at 100%. It's possible he can still kick it in. So I think the linchpin, the intriguing part of this whole plan is Kiran Amagaje. This guy is a really nice piece that we have at Hallis Hall. Prototypical NFL tackle size, prototypical NFL left tackle technique, but he also has versatility. He can slide right over at guard without missing a beat. Lots of experience at Yale at guard, and that makes a lot of scenarios possible because I believe he's the real deal. He's an upgrade at either spot, and with this positional flexibility, the Bears could still grab a premier edge rusher with one of the top 3 picks that we have, 2 seconds and a first. I mean, that's wholly possible depending on how this shakes out with Jenkins, how Amagaje looks and ramps up this year. I mean, the strength of this draft is defensive end, it's edge rushers, and offensive line. It's one of the best in memory for these 2 positions. And that contrasts with the wideout and quarterback feast of this last draft and a center to target. I think we could target another Alabama product. He's really the only guy that's like a huge upgrade in the first 3 rounds of one of these picks, and it's Parker Brailsford. The only thing is that Parker is a little undersized. He's 6'2", 290. So automatically we would dismiss that, right? But we got to keep in mind, and this is something brought to our attention by Windy City Gridiron. a ton of top centers played at below 300. So check this out. We've got the gold standard recent retiree Jason Kelsey. Uh, I mean, Andrews. We've got a lot of players here in the NFL that are premier centers and they play at below 300. So that size isn't a big issue. It's just that this guy, to compensate for his size, he plays with an absolute nasty streak. It's what the Bears love. Great leverage, great lateral quickness. He's okay with a mobile quarterback. He can move with the pocket. And being the center, he can actually help move the pocket, right? Just really good football IQ. Understands spacing exceptionally well. He is absolutely the target if the Bears grab the center they need for the future in this draft. So we can speculate all day, but the heavy presence at these games by the Bears, it's for sure a telegraph right now. And what's nice is that the Bears are a team in a different spot now. We don't have tons of holes up and down this roster. We're able to settle in. We're able to build this line out as the last piece to being elite as a team. And it's not necessary to make a big deadline splash this year. Keep the cap healthy. Let's build this up. Let's contend for a title next year. Yes, I firmly believe that's possible. I think this year is just the appetizer. We're going to get playoff experience this year, and we're going to be a top team in future years as well by handling the cap well and building out this offensive line in a responsible way and getting blue chip players to boot. So you don't have to sacrifice quality by not participating in free agency for a marquee player here. You're going to way overpay. And I think with the depth that we have, I think these guys coming back from injury, this line is going to be fully fine. And next year it'll be elite. So GM Ryan Poles, he has earned our trust. This is the last step. You guys stay with me. Coming up to the trade deadline, I believe it's on November 5th. We'll see how this shakes out. But I don't want to just be doing random trade rumors. I wanted to give you something substantial. And the Bears staff's presence at these two football games, among others, it really telegraphs that they're serious about building through the trenches. So you guys, thanks for being here with me. Bear down, and we will talk soon. See ya.